My brother from another mother.
Miss you, man. It's good to see you.
How are you?
Doing well. Staying busy.
Good. Me too. Me too. What do we got? Always and first and foremost, Uncle Frank's in Vegas. What road's it on?
Jones and
Jones.
Robindale.
Jones and Robindale. Go there. Best Hawaiian food in the continental United States of America. Anybody listening, if you want to come with me to Maui, I'm doing a Maui retreat where you'll get the real deal everything on the motherland, June 23rd through June 27th. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Mindset Maui retreat. Go to my website, elliottmarshall.com, if you want real Maui. This is real Hawaiian food at Uncle Frank's, but you'll get a total experience in Maui with me if you want to go. So just a little plug. And then as always, Traeger grills. You make anything good lately?
I did, man. I did a beef cap and I did a sirloin same day, and it was hard to argue which one came out better, but I mean both were super good.
Dude, beef cap is so good. When you hit beef cap right, bro, it is so fucking good.
You know where I kind of messed up though is I took a lot of that top layer of fat off, but it came out amazing. Yeah. Well, my wife's like, "Why are you taking that fat layer off? Like it'd be kind of good." And but I took it off, but I loved the way it was. So
nice. What did I do? I did something. I did a brisket. Dude, the brisket I made a couple weeks ago, bro, last weekend. Yo, that shit was fire. I normally say that if you do, I'll do brisket as well as anybody, but Texas crushes me, right? Not this one. This one was so fucking good.
Nice. What are you going season wise? Or are you going just classic salt and pepper? What else?
No, man, nobody does salt and pepper. Anybody that just does salt and pepper lies to you because they don't get a good bark with salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Salt, pepper, chili powder, onion powder, garlic granules, mustard, and that's it. Yeah.
Mustard as your binder.
No, so hold on. No, mustard powder. Mustard as my binder and mustard powder in the rub.
Got you. I like that.
And you lay that shit on thick. I think the key was the rest. I rested that bitch for 4 hours.
Yeah, man, the rest is something different. Like I did mine too, and I had about a 3.5 hour rest, and it came out fucking perfect.
Yeah, I cook. So I have a thing now. I start at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
This is the beauty of the Traeger. You just got to have enough pellets in it. Yep. Right? You start at 10 o'clock at night. When you wake up in the morning, you might have to wake up a little early, like 6:30, but I wake up then anyway. And that's when it gets through the stall. So that's when you wrap. So it's like this perfect timing.
That's what I've been doing mine, man. I've been putting it on like around, I get up a little later than you. So I'm like a midnight guy.
Yeah.
And then I wake up at like 9 and it's ready to wrap. And then you got practice, and then you get home from practice and you're ready to go, dude.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Hey, call someone, call the neighbor, I'll give you some brisket. If you go take that thing off, put it in the cooler.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into it. God damn, they fucked up another one, Eric.
Yeah.
I didn't even, I turned after the fight was over, I turned it off and watched like a show with my wife because it was so obvious. It was so obvious 4-1.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave her round 2.
Yeah. Oh man. Shocker. That's the round you gave her. How could I even guess that was the one round you gave her?
Crazy. God, yeah. And bias aside, I did have Holly in a parlay, and it was like my last leg. So like watching it, I was watching it with a different lens, but I'm watching this fight going, oh, this is a landslide. Like we're good. She got out of round 2. And other than that was it. And it was, dude,
Andre Pederneiras was screaming at her.
See, that's the thing that bugs me the most, Elliot. And you and I have been in those situations when the corner and the fighter think they lost the fight. And then when they win, they're like, holy shit, we won.
Yeah.
That tells you something, man. And that's pretty rough if you're on the Holy Holm camp.
He was like the corner conversation in between the 4th and the 5th round. What are you doing? Like, I mean, it wasn't good coaching, right? Like he was like scolding her.
I felt so bad for her, right? Bro. Holy shit.
Scolding her. Like,
I don't know. And how come nobody's yelling at Pederneiras for fucking going off on her the way Jim West goes off on Aspen Ladd? That poor guy.
God.
Like, holy shit.
Right? Like he deserves to be getting crucified right now. What are you doing? You're giving this away.
Maybe because it was in Portuguese. I don't know. Holy shit.
No, dude, they translated for us. Like,
Oh,
he did everything but hit her.
right? No, that was close.
You know, he did
God
everything
bless
but
him.
fucking hit her. And he
God
like, I
bless
like
him.
Pedinares. I'm a Pedinares fan. He's trained great champions.
Absolutely.
But like, that was not that. And he was like, how many times that you saw him standing up in the corner in the middle of the round, and the
Commissioner's got to sit him
like,
down.
sit down.
Yeah. And for our listeners, so you guys know, before you walk out for every fight, it's the most mundane, like rudimental thing that you hear every time by the commissioners. Don't slap the canvas. Don't stand up. Don't. Yeah, we got it, bro. We've done this a million times.
And we still do it.
We still do it.
Yeah. Like, why do you tell us?
Pounding the apron.
Yeah. Like, just tell me when I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
Just tell me to stop. Don't tell me not to do it. When they
don't
tell
climb
me now,
the cage.
Yeah. When they tell me now, I'm like, look, I'm gonna do all of that. So just yell at me.
Just
and then they're like,
off.
well, please, can you not? I'm like, no. Like, we're in the middle of a fuck. Like, I won't if it's like that quick or something. And he just knock him out real fast. But like, no, I'm gonna do all the things you don't want me to do. This is called coaching, bitches.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they don't disqualify you for it. They don't take a point away from you for it. Like, there's no
sideline warning.
Yeah, there's nothing, right? There's nothing. So like, no, fuck off. This is what we're doing.
Yep.
Let's get to the fight. Holly in round one obviously controlled the cage.
Yep.
Not a lot of damage. Look, there was not a lot of damage the whole fight from Holly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think this is her, like, if you're going to find some fault in Holly, it's that.
Right.
Right. Like, she's not like winning.
Yeah. It's not landslides.
Well, you're not like, damn, she beat her ass.
Right.
You know, like, so that becomes that's where it gets left up to speculation, but still they can't fuck it up like that.
Yeah.
You know,
it was rough, man. It's rough because, you know, you're just looking at again, like, and she might be a flat scale pay person in the main event, all those things, but we're talking about a fight away from possibly. You're
talking about 40 years old.
Right. A fight away from getting another title shot, you know?
Right.
And she looked good against Aldana. She's looked good as of late. So, you know, it's tough because we just don't really get the answers. It happens over and over and over again, where you just never know what these judges are looking at, but nor has there ever been given a reasonable explanation for us to start understanding these things. That's what gets frustrating. It's like, hey, too bad. Go to your room, son. Well, what did I do wrong? Not going to tell you. Go to your room. Like, fuck.
I would love to not do it again, Dad.
Yeah. But what did I do?
It's that's a great point, man, because it's like, we don't know what won Ketlin the fight.
Exactly.
Like, I can't even, I know it won her round 2. She was aggressive.
Yeah.
She stayed off the cage. She hit her a bunch. She took her down and she almost choked her out.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously won her round 2.
Yeah. See, I'm good friends with Mike Bell, and I know Mike was one of the judges on that one. And for me, like, just having him as a resource has actually been good for me to be able to ask these kind of questions. And I think with a guy like Mike, if I were to hit him up like Mike, if I can hit him up and just be like, look, man, I'm just curious on what you saw just to learn. I think he'd be a guy that'd be up for that interaction. And he has been in the past. Like, I actually ran into him on Friday at the Tough Enough event, because we had some fighters on there. And he pulled me aside and we actually talked about the Rafion Juan Archuleta fight, because Big John had given Juan rounds 1 and rounds 2 from where he was at. And I had asked Mike, I was like, you know, I felt like Rafion won round 1, and then he went over what he saw, and he did. He had Rafion win round 1 because of the same reasons that I had. Right. And so that to me was like, oh, okay, so we're looking at the same thing. But it's just like any relationship. You're just trying to understand where they're coming from and what they're seeing through their lens.
Look, it's okay in close fights. I'm not mad about it in close fights. Like the Ponzinibbio fight. I could have seen, look, I thought Michael Pereira won. We'll get to it in a second. But I could have seen it going Ponzinibbio's way a little bit. Like, I could have seen 27-28, 28-27. 29-28. Sorry, Ponzinibbio. I could have seen it in rounds 2 and 3. You know, him winning rounds 2 and 3. but I couldn't see, like, dude,
30-27.
I couldn't see it 30-27.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, in back to the Holly Holm fight, I turned it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, it was that big of a
it was
wash.
so clear.
Mm-hmm.
It was so clear. Like, Catlin didn't do anything.
Yeah.
In rounds, especially in round 5, right? And then like barely anything. Like, you can't get more one-sided than what Pederneiras was doing. Like, I keep going back to it, but the corner is telling you that you're blowing your title shot.
The story. They're telling you the story.
Right.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. And I think that says a lot when you talk about when your coach and the camp feel a certain way with the way the fight's going. And here's a guy in Pederneiras who's probably seen millions of rounds his entire life, right? Like, how many fights and rounds has this guy coached and cornered? And he obviously has the eye for what he's seeing, and he's feeling it's going Holly's way.
And title fights. We're not talking some, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he had Jose fucking Aldo. He has a Jose Aldo. Who else did he have? Did he have Barral?
Henan Barral, yeah.
Henan Barral. So he's got 2 title holders.
Yeah.
You know? Legend. He's got somebody else too. Who else did he have?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't remember off the top of my head either. But champions. Yeah. Like, it's not like this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, and he's telling you lost. You know?
Yeah, right in the corner. Right in the corner. You know, it's crazy. But I mean, you know, here we are again. But next week after this, we're going to be talking about it again. You know, so
your point of, can you please tell us how to win fights?
Mm-hmm. What are we seeing here, guys?
You
know, yeah. And I know a lot of these guys, they're number one defense. I wouldn't say it's a cop, but it's their go-to defense. Well, I train jiu-jitsu every day. Yeah. But with who? You know, or that, I mean, it doesn't.
I don't care that you train. I don't care.
Exactly.
Tell me how you see the fight. I want to sit down, and I would love to know how you scored that fight. How you gave 3 rounds to Ketlin.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Not messing up around, you know? Like, at least in a 3-round fight, you know, if they only mess up 1 round, then okay.
Right.
But this is a 5-round fight. They messed up 3 rounds. Somebody messed up 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
2 people.
Yeah.
You know, tough, 2 people messed up 3. Now, look, Ketlin, what did she do poorly? Man, she sat on the cage. She played too much judo. She wasn't digging underhooks, right? Mm-hmm. She was moving. She would make one big movement to get off the cage, and then that was it, right? You got to make the space and then use the space. So you go right, you go left, you go right, you go left. You get your hips going both directions. The couple times she got off, I think she framed on the face well, right? Mm-hmm. She had that elbow post on the face. So yeah, she, you know, like, but those were the little things. And it was the same thing in the Misha fight. I felt like she won the Misha fight.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that girl's got to throw more.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got to believe in that, man. Yeah, she can crack.
Yeah. She can crack.
Yeah.
You know, she can crack, and her grappling is good. Like, she's got to throw more. So that's Ketlin. Holly, I feel bad for Holly because I thought she won. Who knows now, right? 40 years old. She hadn't fought in 2 years, right? That's when she fought last.
It's been that long.
Yeah, it was 2 years, almost 2 years. October. Yeah, it was October of 2000.
Oh man, I didn't know it was that long.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So, like, what is she gonna do now? Like, was that the last hurrah? Like, can you go out? Yeah, can you go out like that?
I mean, I don't think she would.
Yeah.
I think there's some good matches for her to make, but I mean, it's tough because now you're looking at you beat Raquel Pennington, who's now on a little bit of a run herself. Irene Aldana, who's a sniper, she's unreal. And then a fight that in my opinion she won, you know. So now it just kind of puts her in a weird spot within the division, you know. So and here you are with a title fight looming here soon in Dallas, I believe, with Pena and Amanda, to where that puts her right in that pecking order, you know.
Where she should be getting it. It was pretty clear that she should just get the winner of that fight. And now they're not going to want to give it to Ketlin because they Ketlin lost.
Yeah.
So it just fucks up the whole division.
Everybody's kind of screwed.
Yeah. It fucks up the whole division. So we'll see, All right, Santiago Ponzinibbio and Michael Pereira.
A great fight of the night. Fun fight, really fun fight. And I think when I watched it live, I felt Ponzinibbio won rounds 2 and 3.
I thought so too.
I thought he did enough to win those rounds. I think he had actually, looking back at it as a whole, I'd be wondering kind of what his game plan was, and maybe trying to get Pereira to throw a lot more in round 1 and try to wear on him and then take over in 2 and 3. And I think it was a smart game plan if that's what he was looking to do. And I felt like he won the fight, in my opinion, but it was by no means a robbery, if you ask me, but I did have it for Ponzinibbio.
I did too. But look, we're not screaming about it.
Right. Exactly.
It's not the last, man, I think Ponzinibbio, maybe I'll get myself in some trouble here. He's a USADA guy.
Yeah.
He's a USADA guy. He looked like a killer, and then USADA came,
and then not a killer anymore, huh?
Not a killer anymore.
Yeah.
Like the Ponzinibbio that fought Neil Magny. Oof.
Yeah, Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah, that Ponzinibbio that killed all of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not the same dude anymore. His body doesn't look the same, nothing. And I know he got hurt.
2018.
Yeah.
Neil Magny.
Yep. And I know I got hurt, but I don't know how much of that was hurt. I think some of that was get off the roster.
Yeah. That's tough, man. These last 2 are split decision losses. Jeff Neal and now Pereira. And then he's got the 1 win against Miguel Baez, who looked like every bit of the real deal, and he's lost them in a row now. So you know what? Very interesting point just on the timeline, because he was killing dudes. With only loss at the time, Lorenz Larkin.
By how?
Punches, round 2.
Yeah, so he got caught. I think I remember watching that fight. He got caught. And other than that, he murked people.
He was messing people up.
What was his record? What was his record before this losing streak?
Well, let's see here. So he has a loss to so he's 28-6. So he's lost 3. So it's three losses at the time, and a loss to Ryan LaFleur, who probably wrestled him up. Lorenz Larkin, who caught him, right? And then before that was another one in the regional scene for him, and he has a win on versus Sean Strickland on here. Beat Sean Strickland. So yeah, I think that's a good point, man. I think Ponzinibbio,
and he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
this is nothing against him, but that was
You're just raising the question.
I'm just raising a question. This is just raising a question.
A lot of that acai out there.
Acai and Jesus. Man, how good did Chidi and Giacone look?
Man, what a great story. He's both of them, Anthony and Chidi, just great guys. Love both of them and their energy. And I think it's just, it's funny because you watched him in Bellator at 170. I know that weight cut might have been a problem for him and getting down and maybe the style matchups and everything else. But man, does he look like a world beater in the UFC? He's coming in and knocking fucking dudes unconscious. So
unconscious. Yeah.
And another guy too, Elliot, who's been with his same team since he came up, man, with One Kick Nick. Yep, Sergio Pena and his brother Anthony. He's seen the same crew, the same thing. And you could tell in that sequence there, and I think he even alluded to it. You get in that clinch with a Thai guy like that, he's going to be messing you up. And he came right over top with that plum right elbow, boom, lights out, man.
Yeah, it's great to see One Kick Nick, a guy who's been around so long. Sergio Pena, a guy who's been around so long, still in the game a little bit, having success with some guys, they've never had a champion, they have
quality work,
just as good as anybody else in the game, right?
Yep, quality work,
just as good as anyone else in the game. So that was really great to see. Chidi's grappling defense has improved,
for sure.
His wrestling get-ups have improved. His fight awareness has improved. He doesn't panic when he hits the mat anymore. right? Giving up his back, making massive mistakes. And this is something that strikers really have to learn and struggle with sometimes. It's not this is something that we talked to Drew Dober about a lot. It's like, bro, I don't care if they take, like, okay, I care if Islam takes you down because it takes one and no one gets up, right? So that one I care about, Islam Makhachev. But everyone else, I really don't care that much. Just stay safe, get up. You know, take your time. Take your time. Okay, you dropped the round. Okay, you can't have it happen the next round, right? But we don't want to make these risky get-ups in round one, which I think Chitty was doing a lot in the beginning, in the middle of his career.
You know, and you're right, because I actually went back and watched Oliveira Poirier just recently, and you know, and it was a 5-round fight, and Poirier made an error, but it got him put on his back, and he stayed on his back and held posture control, and almost just conceded the round. To exactly your point, he's not going to try to give his back up or have some get up to where all of a sudden now, where's Oliveira? He's now on your back, and now he's choking you. Now that's the fight. It didn't go his way, but in that moment, I was like, oh, this is actually very genius on Poirier's part. It's a 5-round fight. I'm going to concede this round, but I'm going to live to see to fight another day.
This is part of fighting. You know, this is really part of fighting that the best really have, you know, that the best have. They are aware of, okay, don't lose all the way here. Right. Don't lose all the way.
Give yourself another opportunity, man.
So, and Chitty's really improved that. Chitty has greatly improved that. How about our boy Anderson Silva, by the way?
Went out there and did another one.
Dude.
Yeah. Was he 47 now?
47. Yo, Jake Paul, make a phone call. Make a phone call.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah, he's gonna sock you up, Jake Paul. You know you're not gonna do it. You know you're not gonna do it. There ain't no way you're calling Anderson Silva, Jake Paul.
Yeah, pass right over that.
Yeah, I'll say no, thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe he's right. Because he ain't gonna beat Anderson, bro. You know, he ain't gonna beat Anderson. It's great to see, though, right? It's great to see.
Yeah, especially I feel like he got burned a little bit, and in some of his comments he mentioned about the UFC, and he could still compete, you know, and it's great to see him go out there and make money, provide for his family, still compete at a high level. He can do it. Great. He can do it.
He can do it. All right. Dude, by the way, did you see the airport thing at the United? The guy got knocked. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, man.
Bro.
Wow. Yeah, all kinds of trouble there. Your employee squares up on a guy,
right?
You know, I don't think somebody's getting sued.
I mean, is that guy gonna get put on the no-fly list?
I don't know.
I want to know what happened.
Yeah, me too. I want to know the whole story.
I want to know, like, why did he fuck that? Why, you know? Because obviously the attendant came and hit him first.
He did.
Right?
Yeah.
But like, why?
Why? Yeah. But
I want to know why.
And those are the things too I always wonder, because like you're only predicated to see like, well, maybe there was more to the beginning of the video. What happened in the beginning of the video?
Right. What did he say? What did he say that got that dude so hot?
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know. God damn it. I'm trying to pull up this weekend's coming fight, and I'm only getting the one fight, Jairzinho versus Biggie Boy. Where's the other fights?
Go on Tapology. Because we're Ige's the co-main event. We got Dan on that card versus Mozart. Biggie Boy Volkov, and then Paulina Baltillo. Jeff Molina's on this card. There's some good fights on this card.
All right, here we go. Yeah. All right, let's start with oh wow, JJ fights on this card.
Yeah.
No, it's next Saturday.
Next Saturday, yep.
Yeah, so nothing this weekend.
Nope. Memorial Day weekend, so you're off.
All right, let's talk about this fight a little. Let's break this down a little bit. We'll break it down some more.
Sure.
Man, you know who I love on the undercard is to watch fight is Joe Selecki.
Yeah, he's good, man.
I'm really interested in the Joe Selecki fight.
Yeah, he's good.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know Alex De Silva. Do you know Alex De Silva?
I do not. Pull him
Alex
up now.
De Silva. Yeah, let's pull him up.
I think he's a Contender Series guy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he lost to Brad Rydell. Canceled bout. He's got a win. Yeah, so he's got 3 fights in the UFC. He's 1-2.
And Selecki lost his last fight. Is that right? He was that with Jared Gordon. He lost to Jared Gordon.
Still like him. No.
Still.
Yes. Sorry.
Split.
It has Donald Cerrone. I was like, wait a minute, he didn't fight Cowboy.
Grappling.
Yeah. Yeah, so Selecki lost his last fight. But I'm still a fan. I like jiu-jitsu guys, obviously.
He's good, dude.
And he's worked really well on his hands too. So that fight definitely interests me. I like that fight.
Yeah, he's good, man. The Austin Hubbard fight I remember very well. Jumping on his back and choking him. I remember that. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see Alonzo Menenfield again. Because he's always exciting. Whether he can he's figuring out his cardio, right? Like with that big frame and all that muscle he has.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of talent, but then that gets in your head, right? Like, go ahead.
Commands a lot of oxygen, that much muscle on him. And he's one of those fast twitch guys, he goes hard quick.
And then once you get tired once, like I'm sure you had to deal with Francis, right? Because once you get tired like that, once that shit, man, you ever been tired like that?
Ooh, yeah.
It's the scariest thing in the world. It's the scariest thing in the world because you're like, yo, I'm gonna get fucked up. I can't defend myself, So how did you deal with that with Francis?
I think just a lot of that pacing, right? Scheduling your breaks is what we always called it. And just finding, like in the Stipe fight where he would have a burst and he would reset and catch his breath and breathe. But, there's a lot of the body language and how you train it, in my opinion. So our practices are ran super hard that way. And then, we try to, the other thing too, like I notice a lot with, not saying certain gyms or anything like that, but when in between rounds, you're given 1 minute and that's in a fight. And in between rounds in our practice, you're given 1 minute. And if you're not back on the mat in 1 minute, then hey, guess what? We got jump squats. We're not, predicated to giving ourselves a minute and 45-second rest. There's no point of that. So train it in the room, train it like it's, you're doing it in a fight.
We don't give a minute. I don't give a minute to my fighters until the last 2 weeks. I do 45 seconds.
There you go. Smart.
Because you're going to be more tired in the fight.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You're going to be more tired in the fight than anything practice can do. Yep. So in training, we got to recover in 45, so that way, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's 25% more.
Yeah.
And 25% is a good amount.
Yeah. And it's smart. That's smart. And you're almost building up to it by the time it's 2 weeks out. And then a minute feels like a year.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh man, I really like this minute.
Yeah.
Man, the Blanchfield JJ fight is going to be interesting. It's either going to be interesting or boring.
And now is one of them out there with you guys?
JJ's with us. Yeah, JJ's with Valor. I can't really say us anymore. JJ has Valor. I'm not us. But Blanchfield's grappling is very skilled. Very, very skilled. The question is can she get there with JJ? JJ fight down. How do you get it down? But look, the JJ's problem is she's too conservative, right? She fights so conservative that it won't take a lot to win the round.
That. Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot to win. So if you mess up twice, 2 little mistakes twice, and there you go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, and I know JJ's in the process of trying to correct all of this, but look, Erin Blanchfield, her last fight was against Miranda, and definitely I was there. And she looked great. She looked great. That girl's grappling is on fucking point.
Where's she out of?
She's out of a small Renzo Gracie affiliate called Silver Fox BJJ. Yeah, she just trains there.
Wow. Yeah.
She just trains there, and I was very impressed with their coaching. That they're very skilled. They're very skilled.
Nice. That's awesome.
Man, do you think look, you have a super gym, right? You have a mega, like a mega team, kind of, right?
Yep.
I had one. Where do you think the sport is moving? Do you think it's moving more towards mega teams or more away from mega teams?
Good question. I think you can make an argument for both points, because I look at Tyson Chartier and what he's doing over there at up in with New England Cartel, right? And those guys, and it's really the main two. It's Calvin and Rob, and it works for them because they're a weight class above and below, and they're their main training partners for each other. And they have that ability to win. I see the guys over in Philly as well, Daniel Gracie's gym. I think they're kind of a smaller. They're killing it, man. And I think they're 14-0 in the UFC, right? Like in the UFC, bro. Yeah. This is fucking unreal. Yeah. So again, and I'm not saying they're not a super team or a super gym, but I don't think the capacity that they have over there is, a lot of deep with talent, right? I mean, they're talented. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like they don't have probably 60 guys on their roster over there. There's probably about 10, and all 10 or 5 are in the UFC, and they're fucking people up.
Right.
So, so I think you can make an argument for both. Now for us, obviously we're about 60 deep when it comes to our pro fighters here. And it's a lot to manage, but we also have a great core of coaching staff that's able to mend and blend everything together with, if one guy's out of town, we could pick up the slack. And I think that's what helps out a lot is just really our mentality to help one another as coaches. But, I've heard horror stories about ATT. It's very cliquey. It's very this, it's very that, so I think it's just the right recipe that you're going to get, and hopefully it works out. So you can make that argument either way.
Yeah. I mean, look, no offense, homie, I love you.
Yeah, of course.
But Daniel Gracie's got to be on the list for fucking coach of the year.
I mean, I think that he has to keep doing what he's doing, obviously. And because he's like, it's one of those things where it's like, for me, I felt like I've had better years, but I wasn't on that list. But it's like, you just have to keep consistently winning or having big fights and big wins. There were people have to take notice of you, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to take, so it's almost like a body of work. And what he's doing, man, is putting together this body of work right now with Sean Brady, Wells, and then the Andre kid who just won. And he's got some fucking studs over there, man. I think Sabatini's over there as well. Is that right? So I mean, dude, just keep doing what you're doing, and he's going to be right there on that list.
He needs to be starting to get talked about, though, for this year's coach of the year. He has not lost.
Correct. And hence why I think we bring him up, right. It's like, I'm all about it. Like, I love that shit. So, and I think people give credit where credit's due. This guy's winning big fights and doing a lot of good things. And especially, like, you can tell that these are homegrown talented kids, right? Like, he's bringing these guys up through that CFFC organization, CES and all that back east. And he's been with these guys for a long time.
Beginning.
Exactly.
He's had them from the beginning, right? There's no coming in. So like, this was all him. It took a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like, to bring a fighter up. Yeah. To bring a fighter up from no fights is 5 years, 6 years of work,
of investment, man. So he should be screaming from the mountaintops, 14-0 in the UFC.
I don't think he should. We should be screaming for him. People should. The other coaches, the media should be screaming for him. I don't care that it's not always a title fight, dude. At this level, if you have 14 walks and 0 losses
in the UFC,
talk to your boy.
Yeah, man, you're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
Your boy, because it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
It's hard, So, and then we got Ige. I don't know much about this guy, Mavzar.
Sambo guy, wrestles. He can get after it. He's got an engine on him.
Never lost.
Has never lost. He's 15-0, man. And Dan's a pretty big underdog versus him. The Nick Lentz fight stood out to me. It was a very close fight. He obviously won a split decision, but it was a fun fight, man. It was a really fun fight to watch. And he's got some good wins on his record. So, and then my boy Ige, he's been looking sharp. He's been looking sharp. So we went out, we got some training in with Khabib. He's got some training in this camp with I went up there with Gaethje a little bit. He went out with
out
Henry.
to train with Khabib, huh?
Yeah, well, Khabib was here, so Khabib was here a lot during this early start of camp. So we had a lot of Khabib training together.
How did you work? Did you just work that out with Khabib?
So Khabib was doing some stuff over the PI,
Okay.
and we just said, you know, Dan's like, hey, is it cool if I go train with Khabib? I was like, is it cool? Can I come? Yeah, motherfucker, it's cool.
What are they doing? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
What do they do?
And I gotta go just be a fly on the wall and be a student, go watch one of the best to ever do it. Coach and his mindset and the way dude, those guys know what the fuck they're doing, bro. How they practice, how they train. And it was fun to watch. It was fun to learn. So it was good.
Again, one coach, one team, one family the whole way.
Exactly.
You know, and so it's hard to get away from sometimes, you know, like when you find it, you got to stick with it.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to find it. So if you're in a bad situation as a fighter, you got to leave. So it's not always, you know, cupcakes and rainbows where you're at. And sometimes it doesn't mesh as well and you have to go. But when it works, it's very powerful.
Agreed.
And then we got the main event in Volkov and Biggie Boy.
Yeah, you know, they're both in kind of a tough spot right here. I would say, you know, we remember Volkov's last fight against Aspinall. Actually won some pretty good damn money on that one, and it was a breeze. But Volkov has all the fucking talent, man. Like the length, the size, he has some grappling to him. There's some things that this guy can do. But I just feel like sometimes the matchups get to him and he can't, you know, the Curtis Blades fights really comes to mind where he couldn't get the fuck off his back, you know, and then Tom Aspinall came in and put him right on his back again and submitted him in round one. And then, so this fight here, it should be a banger, should be on the feet the whole time.
Yeah. Biggie Boy, Biggie Boy stopped Sakai, lost to Curtis, lost a decision to Gon, beat Junior Dos Santos and lost to Francis. Those are his last couple fights. So he's lost to the top guys.
Correct.
You know, he's only
and
lost.
let's call that Alistair fight a loss too, right? The Hail Mary.
I mean, he lost the fight, but he won it.
Exactly.
I mean, like he lost that fight. Yeah. He lost 24 minutes and 24 minutes and 50 seconds for sure. And then he knocked him out, you know?
Knocked him out.
So I didn't disagree with, I mean, I love Alistair. I'm an Alistair fan, but I don't disagree with that stoppage, you know?
No, I'm with you.
But yeah, I mean, like, so I guess you could call that a win and a loss for Biggie Boy, right? So, but yeah, he's lost to the top and beat the others. So you have these guys like this that have, you know, when they get all the way up there, you know, so now you have two guys like this in Volkov and Biggie Boy. They both have seen very, very close to the top and not made it.
Yep.
You know, so this will be interesting.
Interesting in a lot of regards too, because I'm starting to look at this landscape of the heavyweight division, some of these up and coming guys. I mean, dude, there's some talent coming up through here right now in the heavyweight division. Talent.
Aspinall #1.
For sure.
Aspinall #1. Right. Who else do you see coming up? So I would say that Curtis has been there.
Right. The big Sambo guy, the heavyweight who won a couple weeks ago, Ramadov or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Seen him. And then the kid who just beat Parker Porter this weekend, the jiu-jitsu guy.
Did he look good?
He looked good, man. He looked really good. So, I mean, I'm not selling the fucking house on him yet, but I mean, for me, is my job is to kind of look at some of these guys coming up through the rankings and keep my eye on them as they go. And I've been impressed with all of them.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe heavyweight's going to smack us in the face when we said it was weak for a second. Maybe they're like, "Yeah, we're coming."
Well, I think this fight in particular, to go to your point, Elliot, is this is a big fight for the loser.
It's over,
right? It's fucking over, man.
It's over. Yeah.
Like, where are you going from here? And my point is this, you're going to get name recognition for one of these young guys. They're going to try to feed him to the loser, especially, the winner puts himself right back in that middle tier of the division.
Look, I don't think the winner's ranking goes up. Like,
No.
I think it's 7 versus 8, right?
Right.
So I don't know who's 7. So if, Volkov's second was 7 and Rosenstrike's 8. So if Volkov wins, he's going to stay 7. If Rosenstrike wins, he's going to become 7. Like if no one's going any higher than that, because the other ones are obvious.
Yeah.
The other ones are so obvious. And then look, with John Jones always kind of flirting out there, John Jones is the toughest one, is the toughest fight for everyone.
Yep.
John Jones, every single heavyweight on the card, the toughest fight is John Jones.
And immediately
the roster,
immediately when he gets into the division, it's going to shake things up.
Yeah. Look, that's for Francis, that's a tough fucking fight.
For sure.
The toughest fight. For Ciryl Gane, the toughest fight. For Curtis Blades, the toughest fight. Who I think probably matches up best against him is probably Aspinall.
Right. Yeah, right now.
No, your boy looked good with his wrestling. He's so strong.
Yeah, but I mean, coming off of a knee injury and everything else, we kind of we gotta have to hit it again, man. Like we're gonna have to hit it again. So, but I think John Jones will probably fight Stipe or somebody before Francis gets healthy, and we're gonna see how he looks in that division, man. And it gives us a little bit of an idea, and I like that. So,
man, I really appreciate your willingness here with, like, for example, we talked about Dan Ige, and you're like, he went out to Trevor's and trained with Gaethje, went out to Khabib's, like, it's not just, it doesn't have to be the Eric Nixick show. And just right now, I was like, Francis is wrestling. And you were like, Elliot, slow your roll there. He did it. First of all, he did it once, just came off a knee injury. Like, it's not like, and you're talking about John Jones. You weren't like, yeah, for sure. I agree with you. He's going to give me my boy. So, like, man, I want to give you some props there for, like, MMA is the can you hype yourself up enough show, right? Especially on the non-fighter end, right? Like all the as on the announcer end, on the coaching end, on the media end, everyone's like, oh, me. Look, come on. And you just went the opposite way. I want to give you some credit there for that, my friend.
I appreciate you, man. And I think for me, you and I both understand it's constant growth in this sport, and keep your head down and grind, and good things will happen. But I think for me, just having that mentality really came from Randy, man, like stepping in these doors, and he's just the most humble individual I've ever been around, and he was the best to ever do it. So, and I just feel like, hey, there's always room for improvement, and I'm always up for those challenges, man.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right. Anything else before we wrap?
I'm good, man. I thought we covered everything.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna cook some. I'm gonna cook them on the Traeger for a little bit. I smoke them and then put them on the grill. These spinach feta lamb skewers. Oh, they're so good. I get them from Whole Foods.
Send pic.
Will. Send pic. Will order.
Oh, love it.
All right, guys. Don't forget, he's Eric Nixick. I'm Elliot Marshall. Hit us up. Man, if like I said earlier, if you want to come hang out in Maui with me, I'm down. The cart closes this week. So I know you're doing some good things out there. You're putting some really good go to Eric's YouTube and your Instagram for you've been breaking down some really good striking things. I've been trying to put some grappling breakdowns from the last couple UFCs out there. Look, if you want to see something broken down, even old stuff, send us a message. Send us a message and we'll do a breakdown of it. I would love to do more grappling breakdowns of some stuff that I know someone wanted to see. I'm sure you feel the same. Yes, Eric?
Absolutely, man. I love that. I love that interaction too, because this is what this podcast is built off of is you and I trying to help and educate and help people understand, where it comes from our standpoint.
You didn't get that Spotify check yet? Is that what you're saying?
I need that Spotify check. I'm in. How do I get that?
I don't know. I think you got to put like 15 years in and then maybe you get it.
All right, I'm in. I'll try.
All right, guys. Look, if you send us videos or requests, send them to our personal Instagrams. Okay. Eric underscore XCMMA, and mine is at Fire Marshal 205. So send them to our personal Instagrams, and we will do our best to get them back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, peace, bitches.